Hi, this is Sonia with Artsy Solutions, and welcome to hashtag How Do You Do Art, and it's hosted by Sharyl of the Whole Bucket. And for the month of August, we're doing Artist Appreciation August, and basically you can just find an artist who you appreciate, and we're going to make something, I guess, in their style, or even if it's someone that you don't necessarily, maybe their style of art isn't your style, but you still want to show your appreciation, you could do that. You know, some people like abstract art, some people aren't really into abstract art. But if you wanted to just challenge yourself to think outside the box and do a style of art that you typically don't do, you could also do that. But for me, I'm going to choose a more modern day artist. I do appreciate artists from way back in the day, you know, your Michelangelos, Jackson Pollock and all them, Pablo Picasso's, Vincent Van Gogh, all them, they're all great artists, but I'm never going to be able to paint like that. I'm never going to do a Sistine Chapel and all that. So I'm just I'm just going to appreciate an artist who I feel like I can somewhat mimic. So long story short, my artist that I'm wanting to appreciate is Eva of Bohemian Crafting. I've been following her, oh my goodness, for a long time. And I would binge watch her videos, but I just never had the courage sometimes to just make what she made. She makes some gorgeous stuff. She loves grunge, which obviously I'm into as well. She makes a lot of like envelopes, and she can turn anything into something amazing. Like, she's good like that. So, but anyway, I'm a member of her Patreon, and over the years, and when I say the years, I'm not exaggerating, I've gotten stuff like I've gotten downloads and printed them out, but I haven't made anything with it. I don't know. I have zero excuse, but but for the month of August, I'm going to finally start using her stuff. And like I said, let me just give you a breakdown, like a basic idea of some of the types of things that she has. Some of these are for kids. Some of them she's got like a whole lot of stuff on her Patreon. And typically they are, you know, a vintage type stuff. She's got, oh, I didn't see this coffee lever kit. Sorry guys, I'm going to use this in one of my other challenges. Yeah, but anyway, she has all kinds of stuff. So long story short, I'm going to make something in her honor, and we're going to see what we can get done. Like I said, there's no excuse for me to not have made some stuff. I mean, she's got all kinds of stuff. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, I haven't even downloaded half of what she has in her Patreon. So anyway, I'm going to do something simple, but I don't want to. I'm going to do an envelope. That's what I'm going to do, because that's her style. She has an envelope in at least something, at least one of her journals. Eva's going to make an envelope some kind of a way. So I want to try to make one using some of her things today, and then throughout the month. Honestly, probably, I'm going to be honest with you, I think I might make a journal, but it's going to take me a year to do some of what she does, because she's just good like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a journal eventually, but today's session is going to be like an envelope, and I'm going to use like vintage books and magazines and things like that. So let me get my materials and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to make it using a manila file folder, And I took the cover off of the file folder packaging. So this measures approximately, the size is 11 3/4 inches by, if you include that top part, it's 9.5. So 9.5 by 11 3/4 inches. So it already has a fold, right? So I'm going to be wanting to use some of this stuff. Now, you know how Eva does. She has flaps and all of her stuff. So if I'm going to use, actually I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use that on something else. I'm going to let me get my black paper. Okay, well, I couldn't find my black paper, so I'm going to be using these two. So these, and what I'm going to do is, like I said, Eva likes to have flips in hers. So this is going to have a flip. And I'm going to have it, should I have it going in front of each other like that? I think I will kind of have it like that. Or, hold on, let me turn it around. If I could have it like this. And these are, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to need something to, okay, first, I'm just going to simply cut this down. I'm going to cut it down to approximately 7.5 inches. I'm still going to keep this because I may use it. I'm going to take this down some. I'm going to take, like, instead of it being 7.5, I'm just going to make it 7. And instead of making it that tall, instead of it being 7 by, what is this? 7 by 7.5, it's just going to be a 7 by 6. 6 by 7. So this part is your base. And it's going to go, let's see, I could add this on top of here like this. I like that over there to the side. And I'm just going to take let me see if I can punch. I'm going to try to add like a tab on here. We're going to see if I don't mess this up. On my last session of Essence of Time, I tried adding a tab and I had messed it up. Okay, I can live with that. Yeah, I can totally live with that. Alright, I'm just going to round these corners off. Oh, goodness. I need to empty that out. Okay, so we got that. I got it cut and rounded the corners off. So what I want to do on the inside is I have this is cute, some papers that I want to use with words. So basically I'm going to add some of this on top of here, and basically it's going to show through. I'm just going to add it to this side right here because this, yeah, this is like the back side. So I'm just going to cut down what I need, and I'm only going to take about 3 inches worth, or like these 2 paragraphs. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the middle over top of this right here, and I'm going to paste it on there, and then I'm going to cut the difference of it off. I'll show you what I mean. Let me just get my paste. And so when you look down, you'll still be able to see part of that right there. You know what? I think I want to take a little bit of this right here off because I feel like that's too tall. I want to be able to see some of that. So I'm just going to take about 1 inch off, and then we're going to add another tab on there. Okay, now you can see it. I like that. All right, and then I'm just going to distress it. I'm going to take some distress vintage photo. Let me first round off these corners. And then I think I want to put some type of other vintage paper right here. And let's see. I've got some vintage receipt paper. Trying to think what would look good with this. Okay, so I've got that in there. I just took a piece of one of those pages from Eva's Patreon, and then so you can see from right there. I need to put something right there, like something black, to make it look like it's reinforced. I guess I could use like a Posca pen or something dark to go around it, just to make it look like it has a reinforcement, because that right there is just too plain looking. So I'm just gonna take my Posca marker and go around that circle and make it look more reinforced like that. I think that looks better. Okay, and then I want to add, I'm going to want to add this on here some kind of a way. And so it's going to stick down and let it stick down into a pocket. So I'm going to make a pocket that's going to kind of come out to the side. So if this right here measures, this 4 1/4, I need like 4 1/2 at minimum, or maybe 4 3/4 wide. And it doesn't have to be real deep. So let's just go ahead and cut a little piece that's 4 3/4 wide. It could actually be like a belly band. I think that's what I'm going to do, is make like a little belly band. So 4 3/4. And then I'm going to make it probably like 2 inches, maybe 1 1/2 inches. I think I'm going to just do 1 1/2 inches. And then I'm going to see if it'll be able to fit. If I put that there, then this will be able to go down in there like that. You know what I mean? And then that belly band, well, because see, if I want this to open up, then I'm not going to be able to do that. Maybe, no. Well, it'll still be able to open up. I'll just have this part glued, and then this will just be able to sit down on top of it. So let me just round off the corners and distress it. And I guess I could stamp on it. I could just put some random stamps. And then I need to distress this right here. First with brown. And then I'm just going to go around it with some black as well. And I'm going to stamp using some black ink, just to make it more pronounced with that black. And I have some stamps that I have set aside over here. I think I'm going to use. These are, I had gotten it from Temu, but you get what you pay for, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to randomly just put some ink on here and just let it pick up whatever it picks up. I think I'm just going to lay it on here like so, and then just let it kind of get that image. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. And then I'm just going to put this back up. And I'm going to add, first I think I probably need to reinforce this to make it thicker. And yeah. And I'm just going to, well, I'm going to add it to a piece of this manila envelope. and I'm going to stitch it on there. First I'm going to put it on here, and then I'm going to cut out the shape of it, and then I'm going to stitch going around, and then I am going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and distress this, glue it, stitch going around it, and then we'll be ready to assemble. Okay, so I got that stitched, and I got that stitched. So let's see, how is it going to go? This is going to go first. Let me just kind of place this over top so that I can know where this is going to go. And so I'm just going to add some glue where I know it should go without having to get glue on that right there, on the envelope itself. So let's just kind of see how it's going to look on here so I can determine how far over it needs to go. So I guess probably like right here is where it needs to go. And I want to make sure that it's on here pretty secure. So I'm going to stitch like just this little piece right here. That way I know it's on there and on there good. And then I'm going to be gluing, or actually I'm going to stitch, make sure I leave that, yeah, on this right here. I'm gonna glue it first and then I'll stitch it. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I've decided that I've already stitched going around the edges and things like that, and I've already we have our pocket, and but this opens up, of course, and then of course this opens up, but I need something to keep this flap closed because it's not staying shut. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little piece of this scrap paper, and I'm going to cut it down to roughly 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to cut it down to about 2 inches roughly, maybe just a little bit bigger. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and I'm going to attach it to the envelope. And what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and attach it at about probably about right here. And so what I should have done is I need to cut this down just a little bit more. Well, no, I don't. Yeah, I didn't. I need to cut it down just a little bit more, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Velcro to it. So I'm going to cut it down to about like where that stitch line is right there. All right, so let's just kind of eyeball it. Put the scissors over top of where the stitches are. Cut. Okay. I could have distressed it, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. And then I'm just going to take a little piece of Velcro, or a Velcro set. You get your little top, you have your bottom, and I'm going to put the Velcro right here, and then I'm going to make sure that this is aligned where I want it on here, and then I'm just going to stick this down. You really could get by with just using half of a piece of Velcro. I'm not even going to worry about it. Oh, goodness. You could have got away with just using half of a piece, but I just used a whole piece. And then we're just going to place it right here. And this is going to keep it closed. for now. And I'm just going to leave that and let that dry, and I'll revisit it in a little bit because I'm not done yet. Okay, and then I also need something right here. So what I've considered doing is I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to, what I should have done before I even stitched the, what do you call it? The envelope closed, is I should have added a brad, which I'm still going to do. I'm just going to have to do it the hard way. I'm going to have to figure out how to get that brad in there. But I want this to swivel because I want this to stay down. You know what I mean? I don't want it to keep flapping up. So I'm going to create a way for this to swivel. So let me see. So I want this to like kind of swivel back and forth. You know what I mean? So I'm going to need to put a brad like down in here. So I'm just going to poke a little hole. Like right here, gently, because I don't want to get it too big. And then I'm going to add, I guess I should have just used a little hole punch. I'm going to add this little small hole. And I'm going to take one of these brads. This is Bow Bunny, and you could just use any kind of brad, you know. I wonder, should I use this one or should I use, I think I might use that one. I think it might look a little bit better. Yeah, so I'm going to take this brad and put it in here, and then add this in here, and like open it up, you know. I should have, like I said, I should have did that beforehand, but hindsight's 2020, right? So I'm trying to, I think I've got it in there pretty good. All right, so now I can swivel it back and forth, and so that can kind of hold it a little bit. And also, this is kind of keeping it in place as well. So if I take this loose, because this should be dry now, this will still be able to come off. And what I want to do is put another one here. I might just take a half of a piece of Velcro of that matching side, and that way it won't show the Velcro. You know what I mean? Let me just cut this in half and show you what I mean. It doesn't even have to be completely in half. let me just line it up right here. And then just put that there. That way, when it's in use position, that's not showing, you know, because it's kind of takes away from the look. And it kind of blends in a little bit, you know. I could put like a number or something to kind of mask it. I think I will. I'll just put like a little circle right there or something, just to kind of make it blend in. Look like a decoration that's supposed to be there, you know. Well, let me turn it around, right side up. So you got that. And then when you need it, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm just going to put, this one will need a whole one. So I'm just going to put that there. Oh, wait a minute. I need the other side. Yeah, I guess I could put that there. And then put some type of a decor. No, because if I do that, then I'll need to let me see. Let me rethink this. I'll need to put something here. So since we're going with blue, I'm just going to put this here as though it belongs. And I'm just going to add like a number or a word or something on there. Now I'm satisfied. All right, so here we go. We have this little pocket here, using one of her vintage photos, and then this swivels up and down. This comes out, and then you have your pocket. And then this lifts up and opens, and then you have that. So yeah, this is my hashtag how do you do art part 1, and I am recognizing Eva or better yet, I am appreciating Eva of Bohemian Crafting. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos, blog, and social media sites. And if you'd like to play along with the hashtag howdoyoudoart challenge, just use hashtag howdoyoudoart, and that way we can see your work. So thanks again so much for watching, and happy crafting.